All right, it was Christmas 1977. My brother Johnny got a go-kart that year. So we all went outside and lined up to take a spin on the go-kart. And it was pretty incredible to see how quickly a go-kart can get totally beat up. My father, it was amazing watching this. He took it down the Van Damia's driveway, and it was ice covered, and he tried to spin it out, and instead it slammed right into their garage door. We're like, oops. So anyway, there are 6 kids in the family, and with my dad and mom, so there are a lot of us waiting outside to take our turn to take this go-kart for a spin. So now the night wears on, and for some reason, I'm like, I'm going to go back out there and take a ride on this go-kart. So my brother Johnny, he was in front of me, and he sped off. He's on this go-kart, and he speeds off into the night, right? And I watch him, and he's going up the road, and he turns around, and all of a sudden, the go-kart just stops. I had no idea what was going on. I'm like, what's he doing? I was in my own little trance. Beautiful. It was a beautiful winter night with these huge, fluffy snowflakes falling. And I'm just sitting there, standing there, and someone opened the door to the house. My family is very loud, thankfully, because that noise from the house jarred me. And I'm like, I better go check on, see what's Johnny doing. So anyway, I walk over. I'm taking my time walking over, and I just see this bundle of. He had the mask that the mask hat where it's just a slit for the eyes and the nose and the mouth, and all this clothing, a scarf and his huge winter coat, and his eyes were closed. And I'm looking at him, and I'm like, Johnny. He's in 7th grade, I'm in 8th grade, so I'm like, you better not be kidding. I'm like, what are you doing? And then I saw what had happened. The scarf had wrapped around the axle and pulled his head all the way back, and he was choking. And I knew from that moment, I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, whatever decision I make right now is going to determine whether he lives or dies. And so I went tearing across the lawn, threw open the door to the house, and just started screaming, the scarf, it's choking him, it's choking him, the scarf, it's choking him. And it's like I was in this tunnel. I don't know if you've ever been in total shock. And the words were just echoing, and my very loud family, little by little, they were quieting down and just looking over at me like, what is she talking about? And that's all I could say. I couldn't think of anything else. And so my sister, Janine, she went tearing out of the house. My dad was trailing behind. And by the time, so anyway, she unraveled the scarf. And I knew I could probably do that, but I didn't know what to do after that. That's why I ran to the house to get help. So my dad, who's a physician, he gathered his son into his arms and carried him into the garage, laid him down on the ground, and the whole family was huddled around Johnny, watching as my dad gave him CPR. And there was just silence. And a little bit of time later, all of a sudden, this blood started trickling out of his nose, and my brother started breathing. So it wasn't until later I realized here we are celebrating Christmas, the birth of Christ, and my dad, the physician, he breathed life back into my brother. That's it.